Hey guys, how is everyone on this Wednesday? Coming in for our normal scheduled broadcast that I do every Monday, Wednesday at 11:30, except for the first Monday in every month. That time is dedicated to my mastermind members. But other than that, that's where you can catch me. For those of you who are joining and your first timers, put that in the comments. If you come back on the replays, I hope say hello. I always comment. You can go to renewfullcircle.com to connect with me on another level outside of Facebook or Periscope. I'm actually broadcasting in several locations or on several different platforms. I'm actually going to share out to another location really quick, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling. So you guys see in the title, it says access granted. Access granted, right? Your goals should stretch you. And you know, what really made me think about this is for a few reasons. One, some of the things that my mastermind members are doing, I know that it's causing them to stretch. And, you know, two, because I'm also experiencing different levels of stretch myself as I look to go to new levels, as I go to get access to the next level. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that because it's also a space where, you know, if we're not careful, we'll fall back into, you know, some of our old ways, our old habits, or even fall back into only being successful at a certain level of achieving our goals. And so we know if we continue to do the same thing, then we always receive the same thing. And so I wanted to come today to just really inspire you and maybe give you an idea of what different phases of achieving your goals look like, just to let you know that what you're probably going through is very, very normal. And then some of the benefits of you actually embracing that process of being stretched and the benefits of you aligning fully with what's going on so that you can get access to your next level, so that you can get access to those things that you've been saying that you desire for your life and your business. And we're going to talk about that on today. I'm going to do a quick introduction for those of you who've never been on with me before. Maybe this is your first time. Maybe you caught it because someone shared the video and you're like, who's this lady? I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry, beauty business consultant and certified life coach. I operate from a transformational space, so I focus on mindset, personal development, and business building. I help my clients gain new measures of clarity, because clarity is the space that you can actually gain dominion. It's where you gain dominion. When you're clear on what it is that you want to do, who you are as a brand, who you your ideal customer is, who's going to be attracted to what you do in the marketplace. When you're clear on those things, and when you're clear on your vision and where it is that you actually want to go. I'm trying to see if I can get this off of okay, here, the screen. When you're clear, man, it just allows you room to go anywhere. So I help my clients to get really, really clear on what it is, you know, that they really desire for their life and their business. Operating from a transformational space is really heartfelt, right? Because good morning, Sojo, you actually get to see people's lives transformed. And as I'm coaching or teaching or consulting with people, my life is changing as well. Like, we're going through all of these phases together. So I love teaching from a transformational space with someone else who you feel could use the message. It looks as if maybe the internet service or my computer is kind of freezing on me. I am on several platforms. So I'm on Periscope, and then I'm on my Facebook business page. So if it goes out on either one, facebook.com/buildwithtanya, facebook.com/buildwithtanya. You can access me there. And I'm signing on with Instagram right about now. Let's see if we can get the gram on. I hope they can see. That lighting doesn't look all that fabulous. So as I was sharing with you guys, that I was thinking about this because I'm watching, people in my coaching programs being stretched, and I'm also watching people who have connected with me previously, who desire things at a new level, but are unwilling to go through the stretch process, right? And so stretching may mean that your time is changing because you have to implement, or your life is changing because you have to sacrifice something in your life, for the next level. Stretching may mean that you're learning something that you never learned before, right? So it's taking you outside of your comfort zone. So I looked up a couple words. If you've been following me for a few years, I used to, really look words up all the time, but I felt led today, right? So I looked up the word access, and here's some definitions. It says, approaching or entering a place, right? This is what access is: approaching or entering a place. To gain entry, to retrieve. To gain entry, to retrieve. It also says the right or opportunity to use or look at. The right or opportunity to use or look at. These are some definitions for access. Also, opportunity or ability to use something. Now, many of you who are looking to do something greater than where you are now, or different from what you have now, are going to need access to that thing, right? Access to new doors or new opportunities. You're going to need to gain entry or to retrieve something from the next level, right? And so if you imagine, whatever is on your level, if, say for instance, you have some shelves, right, in your home, and you have items on the shelf that you use all the time, and the access to them is simple, right? You just open the cabinet, you grab it. But then there are these things that you keep up on a different shelf, right? And in order to gain access to them, you have to stretch a little in order to reach them. It's solely and completely the same concept when you think about what's at the next level for you. It means that you're going to have to stretch in order to enter into that new place, in order to gain entry, in order to retrieve it, go and get your stuff from the next level. You're going to have to stretch. Hey, Kimberly, how are you, dear? And so access means that you're approaching or entering a place. So most of the time, when you set a new goal, it is so that you can gain access to something that you currently don't have access to. Whether that is a new income goal, whether you're at 50,000 and you want to go to 100K, or you're at 100K and you want to go to 200K, it's something at that next level. It can even be time freedom. So maybe you're working a lot and you want to access more time freedom. It means that you're going to have to stretch in some areas, some things, some way, somehow, right? A lot of people, when they're, many people, when they're attempting to reach a new goal, they'll say, I just don't have time to do all of it. Maybe some of the new things that are required in order to, actually manifest or gain access to what's at the new level. And you're absolutely right. You don't. You are absolutely right. Hey, Angela, darling, how are you? You don't have time to do all of it. And so what happens is, as you're looking to go to a new level or obtain a new goal, there are some things on the current level that either have to fall back or fall off. And if you're aligned fully with what it is that you desire, there's almost an automatic process of things falling off. Because, for instance, if you're attempting to add something new, do a new goal so that you can gain access to a new level, then a lot of the things that you used to do before, you just simply are going to find that you don't have time for them. And this is one of the ways that we can assess what's going on in our life and what's necessary and what's not. Because many of the things that aren't really necessary, once you get fully aligned with what the goal is, they're going to fall off anyway. Y'all don't hear me. Once you get fully aligned with what the goals are, a lot of the things that aren't really necessary anyway, you're going to find that they fall off. Because what great goals and vision does for your life, it simplifies your life. Great goals and visions simplifies your life. So here's the importance. This is how important it is for you to stretch. If you're looking to get something, gain access to something at the next level, right? So where you currently are is for your current situation or your past. You as a person, where you currently are is solely and completely for your past or your current situation. That means that stretching means that you're becoming, right, the person that can actually receive, maintain, or gain access to whatever it is at the next level. And so it's important for you to stretch in order to become that person, right? So what happens during the stretching time, during the process of gaining access to your next level, is you create new habits. During the process of being stretched, because you're going to have to be willing to be stretched in order to get access to the next level, you're going to create new habits, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you're intentional about it or not. You'll find that you don't even have the time for some of the things that you did before. So stretching will cause you to create new habits. Stretching will cause you to create new systems. So maybe one of the things that you did often was maybe watch 4 or 5 hours of TV every evening. When you get fully aligned with a big vision, it's going to require you. Remember, I said before, some of the things that you used to do are automatically going to fall off because there's simply not going to be any room for it. So when I hear people say, you know, I just don't have time to do it all, I totally and completely agree. You don't. You don't have time to do all of the things that you were doing at your current level or in your past, and all of the things that are required for you to do in order to become the person who can actually maintain what's at the next level. You're right, you don't have time for it. And so when you're stretching, you're actually creating new habits. A new habit could even be the way you handle adversity. Somebody tap the screen on that one. A new habit, which becomes, in this process, you're developing your character. But I find that when you have a big vision that you're aligned to, you even develop new ways of handling adversity, or even, you know, maybe handling messy people. Because remember, I said oftentimes if it's a big vision, there are a lot of things that you simply don't even have time for. There are a lot of things that you no longer have the energy to exert into maybe some of the going back and forth that you may used to do with some people. Soul to soul photography, how are you? Thank you for joining. Right? This is what stretching does to you. And so a lot of people, you know, you hear the phrase, they've changed, or you know, maybe they're acting funny or whatever. But oftentimes the people who are growing, they're not really acting funny, they're stretching, right? They're becoming the individual that can actually maintain what's at the next level. And so oftentimes the time just isn't even there for them to pay attention to some of the things that they used to pay attention to. So how many of you are, you know, really aligned and connected to something big, and you find that in order to gain access to whatever that thing is that you desire, you've had to make some changes? If that's you, put me in the comments. If that's you, put me in the comments. And most of them weren't personal at all, right? They weren't personal at all, but they were very intentional, very intentional. Because when you're aligned, remember I said some things will just simply fall off automatically, or some things you're going to choose to fall back from because they simply don't work with, you know, you getting access or being granted access to what's at the next level. So creating new systems, that may mean that you get up an hour earlier, or you go to bed an hour later, or, you know, instead of maybe talking on the phone when you have downtime, maybe you rest now during your downtime, right? Maybe you rest and you process things now during your downtime, where you used to spend it, you know, maybe on the phone, you know, just like chit-chatting. And even now, your conversations that you're having, you know, who you allow to hear your voice and to be in your presence, or to allow their presence to be connected to yours, it changes. It's nothing personal. It just changes when you're attempting to be granted access to your next level. So goals are the results of your habits. So whatever habits you had up until this point right here has created the situation that you currently reside in. Angela says me, right? Whatever habits you had up until the point that you're at now is a picture of, what's transpiring in your life. And so whenever you're looking to be granted access to a new level, it's basically about developing new habits. It's basically about developing new habits, right? And if we're not careful, because this is what stretching is not always comfortable, right? It doesn't always feel comfortable being stretched. But if you understand and embrace the process and understand that it's part of gaining access to the next level, you can handle the stretching differently. But if you aren't careful, right, whenever you begin to feel stretched, maybe overwhelmed or frustrated in the process, instead of simplifying your life, you'll go back to old habits and you'll go back to old ways. And so my purpose for coming on today was to give you guys some things to be aware of as you're looking to gain access to the next level, so that you're granted access, so that you don't feel like this thing that I'm feeling is uncomfortable. Maybe I'll just go back to the old way that I used to do things. It's just really part of the process. I mean, even to this day, there are uncomfortable times every single time I get ready to either change my business model, to operate at a higher version of myself, to be stretched or gain access to another level. There are things that I have to cut out, change, tweak, or alter in my current process. Because if the current you, right, if the current you was all that was necessary in order to gain access to the next level, you would already have access to the next level. And then I want to encourage you to let you know that what may feel uncomfortable in this moment will eventually feel like flow. What feels uncomfortable in this moment will eventually feel like flow. It'll flow. There'll be a smoothness and a grace and a momentum to it once you allow the full stretching to come. Now, of course, if you're looking to go to yet another level after that, there's another process of stretching. But I want you to know that what you feel, if you're feeling uncomfortable, nervous, afraid, frustrated, overwhelmed, remember, if you're overwhelmed, that's just your journey saying, what things can you eliminate, right? What things can you eliminate in order to get access to the next level? So remember, that's all that's transpiring, right? And one of the reasons it may seem so hard and so difficult is because we want to take everything from our past with us as we're trying to gain access to a new level. And it doesn't work. So the habits, our routine, the systems that we have, even some of the conversations we were having, even some relationships, they don't have the proper weight, right, to be able to gain access to the next level. So if you guys are looking to feel like access granted, right, I've been granted access to that thing that I desire, whatever it may be, then just know that stretching is a normal part of the process, and the stretching will cause you to, develop new habits, develop new systems, to eliminate what's unnecessary. It'll cause you to do all of those things, which is a necessary part of gaining access to the next level. I hope this blesses you guys. For those of you who are, feeling stretched in your vision and, maybe frustrated. And for some, one of the things I find is that people will downplay their vision during this monumental time of being stretched, right? Because they feel pulled or stretched and it feels uncomfortable. They can be fooled into thinking that that's not what they should be doing. But that's normally not the problem. What's normally transpiring is the access that you're looking to be granted to is asking you to eliminate some of the things that you were previously doing. Because remember, the previous version of you cannot be the version of you that goes to the next level. So whenever that frustration or those emotions arise about it feeling uncomfortable, it's simply wanting you to simplify your processes, the activities, so that you can include those things that are needed in order for you to be granted access to the next level. I appreciate you guys. Have a super amazing day. I hope that this blesses you. I hope that for those of you who are thinking about like dumbing down on your vision, or maybe backing away from what it is that you were desiring, that you are that you're pushed to just align and embrace what is transpiring, and then maybe look at some ways that you can eliminate some things, change some habits and some systems that will allow you to maintain when you get to the next level. Because the systems that you used before, they're not going to have the foundation needed in order to maintain at the next level. So in order for you to be granted access, you have to be willing to stretch. Your goals should stretch you. If they don't stretch you, they're not going to do the normal process of what's needed in order to maintain at the next level. Have a super amazing day. I appreciate you guys. Peace.